Hey guys, it's Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have a dip powder nail tutorial, and I'm so excited for this because it has been forever since I've done dip nails, and I also partnered up with Double Dip Nails on this video, so I will be trying their dip system for the first time. And yeah, I'm just going to give you my thoughts on that and then also walk you through step by step how you can do some dip nails right at home. So first you want to start by prepping your nails, and the kit does come with a file and orangewood sticks, so that can help you with your nail prep. So I like to start by filing it and shaping my nails, and they are already shaped square, so I didn't worry about this step, but this is where you want to go ahead and cut them, shape them round or square or whatever your desired shape is, and then after that I move on to my cuticles. So this time I decided to use a metal cuticle pusher and cuticle remover to remove my cuticles, but you can also just use an orangewood stick to do this. You can push your cuticles back after you take a shower, or you can even just trim them if you know what you're doing. There's honestly so many ways to push back / remove your cuticles. You just want to make sure you're doing something because it's going to help your product to last longer. And then after that I rinsed my hands off and then moved on to the next step, which is removing the shine from your nail. And guys, this step is so important. Like, if you're finding that your dip nails kind of just pop off or they're lifting really easily, then this is probably why. So I'm just using the nail file that comes in the kit and just gently going around the surface of my nail. And you do want to be really careful when you do this. You don't need to like dig into your nail or anything, and just gently go across the surface. And this file does have some grit to it because you kind of want to rough up the nail just so the product has something to adhere to. But again, make sure you're not using pressure when you do this because you don't want to thin out your nail plate. And you're just going to do this until all the shine is gone. And then next I like to take a makeup sponge or a lint-free wipe and wipe my nail with rubbing alcohol or 100% acetone. They're going to do the same thing, but rubbing alcohol, at least where I live, has been gone for months, so I've been using acetone instead. And this is just going to get rid of any remaining oils from your nail. And then after that you're going to move to step 1, which is the bond. And again, this is going to dehydrate your nails and get it ready to dip. And you can barely see the bottle, but it does have a 1 labeled on it. And then I'm just brushing that over all of my nails. There's not much to this step. You just want to make sure you're not touching your nails with your fingers because they have oils on them. And then for the dip color, I'm going to be using Dark Forest, which is this kind of dusty blue shade. And I know this is crazy for me, but I thought this shade would be really pretty for the fall. And it also has like a slight glitter running through it, like ooh. So yeah, you're going to need that, and then also your dip base, which is the red bottle, step number 2. And I'm just going to apply that first coat over 3/4 of my nails. And the reason I'm doing that is to just build strength in the areas that need it the most. Sometimes people do this first coat with clear or natural powder, but I don't know. I feel like it just really depends. I do both, honestly. But right after you're done applying that, you're going to dip it into your dip powder at an angle. And then what I like to do is flip my finger over and just tap off the excess using my other finger. And then eventually I will brush off the excess powder, but I just like to wait to do that. And then you're just going to repeat this on all of your nails. And I always work on 1 nail at a time because it just makes it easier, and you also don't want your base drying before you're able to dip it. And I also like to place my finger above the dip powder while I'm applying the base, just because again, I feel like it makes it easier. So I do feel like the powder and the base had a good consistency. Like, I didn't have any issues with anything. And the base is a bit thinner than other brands I've used, but I didn't mind it because I feel like when the base is too thick, it's actually harder to work with. So like I said before, I do wait to brush off the excess. So once I'm done with all of my nails, I go back over them and just dust them off. And you want to make sure you wait to do this because if you don't, you can potentially pull off some of the product or accidentally dent the nail. And the fluffy brush I'm using also came from Double Dip. So as you can see, it is pretty sheer on that first coat, so I definitely needed a few more. So with the second coat, I'm going to go pretty much all the way down to my cuticle, but not quite, just leaving a tiny bit of room. And this is also going to help save you some filing time because you don't want the thick area around your cuticle. And then again, after you apply the base, you're going to dip it into the powder. The dipping is honestly my favorite part about doing dip nails because, one, I feel like it goes by super fast and it's just so satisfying. And I really like that all the dip systems, well, at least the ones I've used, are the same steps. So you really get the hang of it and they become so easy to do. So yeah, after that, I'm going to be applying my third coat, and this time I'm going to go all the way to my cuticle, but still make sure you don't get any on your skin. And if for some reason you do get the base on your skin, just make sure to wipe it off before you go to dip. That way you don't have product stuck everywhere. And with every coat of base you apply, you want to try to keep them even and thin. So after 3 coats, I was happy with this color, and I actually love the way it looks powdery. I really don't know why, but for the last step, I'm going to apply one more coat of base and then actually dip it into a clear powder. And this is going to protect the color when you go to file, so you're not accidentally filing some of the color off. And this is technically optional, but I would highly recommend this step, especially if you have longer nails or you did a dip design. And you're going to dip your nail exactly like you did with the color, so apply your base, dip at an angle, and then wipe off the excess powder. The next step is number 3, and this is your activator, and this is what's going to harden your dip nails so that you can file them. So you really want to make sure you're covering your entire nail with this. I like to re-dip into the bottle after every nail just to make sure the brush is wet enough. And then you're going to wait about 2 minutes to let your nail harden, and you can also check after a few minutes with your nail just by tapping on it to see if it makes a tapping sound, and once it does, you know you're ready to file. So I start by filing my free edge, and then I move on to the rest of the nail, really focusing on the sides and the cuticle area. And I normally use a hand file and buffing block to do this, but you can also use an e-file. It's really just a personal preference, but for me this is the longest step when it comes to doing dip nails, and sometimes you really do want to give up, but I'm telling you guys, it is worth it because dip nails should last you about 2 to 3 weeks. It just kind of depends what you do on a daily basis. And dip powder is also a great way to grow your nails if you're looking to do that, as long as it's applied correctly and taken off properly. Then it kind of acts like a barrier, so you're not breaking your nails because you have that layer of protection over it. But yeah, I'm just going to keep filing and buffing my nail, and definitely try to end with the buffing block because it's going to get rid of those deeper scratches that a file will leave behind. And then once you're done filing and shaping, your nails are probably going to be really dusty like this, so you can just wash them off with water, no soap. Next, you're going to grab your step 3 activator one more time and apply it to all of your nails. And again, make sure you're covering your entire nail. So I'm going to let that sit for about 2 minutes before I move on to the top coat. And this next step is super important. You want to make sure you wipe your nail off with a lint-free wipe or a makeup sponge before you apply your top coat. If you're having issues with the top coat hardening, then this is probably why. Definitely make sure you don't miss this step. And then for the top coat, we're going to be applying 2 coats of this. For the first coat, you want to apply this quickly and really try not to go over an area you already brushed if you can avoid that. And this really doesn't have to be perfect. So you're going to do that, wait about 30 seconds, and then go ahead and apply your second coat. So with this one, you do want to be a little more precise, but again, work quickly. And I also re-dip my brush in between each nail, again, to avoid the brush from hardening. And this kit does come with a brush saver. If you do find that's getting a little crusty, you can just dip it into there. And then after that, your nail will be completely dry in about a minute or 2. And you do want to finish off with some cuticle oil because this is a long process and can be very drying to your nails. So I'm just going to apply that to my cuticle area and then massage it around my skin. And then you are done. And as I'm looking at this, it kind of, like on camera, it looks like I could have used a 4th coat, but in person it was good with 3 coats. So overall, I am really happy with the brand, and I do have an affiliate code. If you use code Gabby20, you can save 20% off. And if you're into dip powder with glitter in it, you will love their shades because even this one has glitter in it. You, again, can't really tell on camera, but it has a slight sparkle running through it that is so pretty. So definitely check them out, and let me know what kind of dip video you want to see next, because I was thinking some dip nail art or dip nails for really short nails. So again, let me know, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.